welcome to everyone. Welcome to another webinar. We can see there are quite a few new attendees in the crowd. So for the first time attendees, just to let you know that this webinar is part of a series of ongoing webinars that Cytec is presenting together with its vendors. Today we are lucky to have a presentation given by the CC4Skype team. So CC4Skype is a company based out of the Netherlands. They specialize in providing customer contact center solutions targeted at the Link, Skype for Business, and Office 365 ecosystem. So this is what we'll be seeing today. The presentation will be given by Mr. Rob de Boer and Wim Heldenberg. So, but before we get started, maybe we'll just have a couple of quick housekeeping notes. People might see that we'll be able to see there is a chat box on the right-hand side. So if you have any questions, please type them in there. We'll have a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. And if it's the case that you think of a question after, just 2 seconds after the presentation, then don't hesitate to send us an email so that we can address any questions if anything comes up afterwards. So our team will be more than happy to help. So the email should go to sales@cytec.ae. So that's sugar alpha lima echo sugar @cytec.ae, and then our team can assist you. Other than that, of course, be sure to keep an eye out on our website for any upcoming webinars. But I think without further ado, let's get started. So I'll hand over the word to you, Rob. Please take it away, and we'll get started with the presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, Amara, and thank you for the opportunity to be able to have a webinar for your customers, and we are happy to do that. Here, as you introduced, I'm together with my colleague and consultant Wim Heldenberg. We made a little agenda for this afternoon. A part of this agenda will be some live demo shots. And of course, if anyone needs a more extended demo together with Cytec, we would be happy to do that later on. Okay. Jumping to our agenda. First, I will tell a little bit about the vision of CC4Skype and our software. Second point is the architecture. My colleague Wim Heldenberg will do that. Third part is a short insight about Teams in combination with CC4Skype and Skype for Business. As everybody knows, this summer Microsoft introduced Microsoft Teams, and Wim will give you a few insights what CC4Skype in the future will do with Teams. Then I will do a short live demo, and finalizing the webinar with why should you use CC4Skype, and why is it an interesting tool to add to the Skype for Business environment. Okay, I will start with our vision. We use this vision for developing our software. So everything that comes up, new functionalities, we have a process for our customers to add new functionalities, will be held against our vision. So as a company, we only develop in Skype for Business environments. And of course, when it later becomes interesting, we also will invest in developing on Teams, of course. But as a company, we have a 100% focus on Microsoft Skype for Business. Second point of our vision is that we provide a multi-channel solution. We have voice, we have chat, we have email, and from the beginning of next year in Q1, we also provide a connection with social media. So we believe that all the channels should work together and on the same way as we treat voice. Of course, these points will come back later in this webinar. Third part of our vision is that not only we have to provide CC4Skype on-premise, but of course it must also be available in the cloud. And last but not least, if you connect also contact centers, it needs to have a hybrid environment, and we support all the 3 environments. Fourth part of our vision is that we have said that our software must be easy to install, it must be easy to deploy, and it must be easy to use. And with easy to use, I really mean it has to be intuitive. So we do not believe today in long training sessions, because in our vision, an agent who is starting to work with CC4Skype must almost understand what he can do with our client. And that is the same for the system manager. It must be accessible, it must be logical, and that's what we continuously keep in mind when we develop our software. Fourth part is that we only work with partners. The reason why we do that is we believe in culture and in regions. So in your region, we work strongly together with Cytec, and with Cytec we help partners of Cytec to resell our software. So if a company who is doing Skype for Business and interested in reselling CC4Skype via Cytec, that's possible. We would be happy to make you a partner for the region. And last but certainly not least, when our software is running at an end customer's environment, then it should run smoothly. And that means that when we have updates, patches or new releases, it must be simple to install them. When a company decides that their communication flows change, it must be easy to change that and not disturbing the business, but we believe that our software should support the business. A few words about the software. In its basics, it's a client-server architecture. So somewhere on a virtual server, we have to install CC4Skype, and at the endpoints, at the clients, we will install together with the Skype for Business clients. And as you will see later in this webinar, they will act as one client. And we only have to install one type of client, and it automatically will change its appearance depending on the job role of the person who is using the CC4Skype client. Management of our software is completely done by our admin center. I already explained that our client is native integrated in Skype for Business client, and that we recognize a few job roles. With these 4 job roles, we are able to support every part in an organization where you have high communication. And not only for voice, as I told you, also for email, also for chat, and in Q1 also for social media. And as a last point of this slide, I will tell you that we can integrate with CRM or ticketing systems when they are web based. So when you can access them via a web URL, we are able to connect it. And what does it mean? Let's say we recognize a phone number, or we ask a caller for a ticket number or a customer number. We are able to open the right page in a CRM or ticketing system. I will hand over to my colleague, and because he is going to tell you a little bit about our architecture.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Wim Heldenberg. I'm a solution consultant at CC4Skype. So let's take a quick view on the different kinds of architecture. It's of course based on the different flavors that Microsoft offers. The first one is the on-premise architecture, where the Skype for Business server is at customer premise, the gateway and PSTN connection is there, and some Skype for Business users are connected to the environment. So as CC4Skype, what we can do is we can add one CC4Skype server to the architecture and connect it through UCMA, which is Microsoft Unified Communications Managed API. And then we can have an add-on on Skype for Business users for CC4Skype. So we could provide Skype for Business users with additional functionality within the contact center environment. The second architecture, which is quite commonly used, is the hybrid architecture. Microsoft calls it split domain, which means that you have one tenant which is splitted through Office 365 and Skype for Business on-premise or private hosted, where the PSTN connection still is at the customer with the gateway. And some of the Skype for Business users are hosted on Skype for Business server on-premise or private hosted, and other Skype for Business users are purely online. And why would you do that? Because Skype for Business Online today still provides some limited functionality regarding to Skype for Business server on-premise. So some customers choose to have a hybrid environment where, let's say, informational workers, that means workers with less requirements regarding calling, are hosted online, and Skype for Business users who are needs extra functionalities are still hosted on-premise. So as CC4Skype, what we can do is we can, in the same way, we can add CC4Skype server on a virtual environment at the customer premise and connect it through UCMA. What is important here is that either Skype for Business users that are hosted on-premise can have a CC4Skype add-on, and with the same level of functionality, Skype for Business Online users can also be have an add-on on CC4Skype purely in the cloud. So this is a hybrid environment, and without restrictions, you can add CC4Skype to the online or on-premise Skype for Business users. Okay, what happens if you have a pure cloud PBX architecture, or Microsoft calls it today Microsoft Phone System, which means that you have Office 365, customer has Office 365, and you only have Skype for Business Online, and you probably have PSTN connection, or you maybe have PSTN connection through a cloud connector on-premise. So in this case, there are some limitations, and these limitations are due to the Microsoft implementation. So Microsoft offers an API, or I must say offered an API, which called a Trusted API, to connect applications on Skype for Business Online. Now, with the at Microsoft Ignite, Microsoft announced that they will not longer invest in this Trusted API on Skype for Business Online, which means that all development has stopped because of the coming of Microsoft Teams. So, but I will come to that in the next slide. So, but we can still offer, as CC4Skype, a solution for Skype for Business Online users, and that's shown here. What we can do is, through a Skype for Business server, which is located or at the customer premise, or maybe private hosted, or maybe hosted by the partner, based on federation, we can add CC4Skype functionalities to Skype for Business Online users. So, and there is no limited functionality here. We can have all functionalities for Skype for Business Online through federation, Skype for Business, and also the Edge, of course, which is not drawn on this picture. So, but we have a full UCMA connection with one Skype for Business server, and even it can be multi-tenant, which means that this private hosted Skype for Business server can connect through federation to different customers. So we offer the possibility to have CC4Skype add-on on Skype for Business Online through a federated server. Okay, what about the coming of Microsoft Teams and all the questions that pop up? First, to begin, what is Microsoft Teams? Microsoft Teams is a hub for teamwork. So that means it's a workplace that you can use for you and your team. It allows you to work together. You can use real-time media like chats instead of email. You could use channels instead of file folders where you can edit files at the same time. It allows you to add notes, you can add websites, and you can connect through applications. And one of the examples of an application we thought about is having a scope or an application in the sidebar of Microsoft Teams where we could have a CC4Teams personal scope where incoming calls for the agents come in. And I can share you 3 examples of first the agent interface, where you can see on the right-hand side that we integrate CC4Skype functionality into Teams for the agent interface, and also a second picture for the supervisor interface. And we can also integrate through Microsoft Dynamics, which is one of the examples we could do. So that's in our view, what can be done. Of course, today, the developer APIs are not yet available or have limited functionalities, but Microsoft announced that Teams will become available in Q4 of 2018. And they said at Ignite that Microsoft Teams will have the same functionality as Skype for Business Online today. So next year, Q4 next year, Teams should be able to provide the calling features of Skype for Business Online. But even today, I must say that Skype for Business Online has some limited functionalities. And one of them I just talked about in the architecture is the trusted API and connecting applications. And this development has been stopped by Microsoft. So it is not a good idea to connect directly through this trusted API to Microsoft Skype for Business Online today. And I gave you a solution through the federation, so we can add CC4Skype functionality to Skype for Business Online today and also tomorrow. What is important to say also is that with the coming of Teams next year, Skype for Business Online will not disappear. So it will still be available, and you could use Teams side by side together with Skype for Business. And you could even decide on user level, so not on company level, that you have, let's say, 90% of your users using Teams and 10% of your users using CC4Skype with Skype for Business Online side by side with Microsoft Teams. So this is the idea of Microsoft, and so in the same architecture through the federation, we could say that providing a federated Skype for Business hosted by the partner or maybe on-premise or private hosted, we can add a UCMA connection through CC4Skype, and we can add additional functionality to Skype for Business Online users as we can do today. We can also, we will still be able to do that next year and the year after, until the point has come that Skype for Business Online will completely disappear, and then CC4Skype will be ready with an integration with Teams. So it's very important to say that the customers don't have to wait to add CC4Skype to their environment. So it will be available today, tomorrow, next year, and the year after. And we are also planning to develop a nice interface in Teams. So I think that's the last slide. Yes.
Yes. So I hope everybody is curious how CC4Skype is looking today. So I suggested that I will show you the client as it is today in Skype for Business. Let's see if I can pop it up. Yes. This is our client. On the left side, you see the traditional Skype for Business client. I will make it screen wide. Maybe that is maybe a little bit better for you. On the right side, you have the Skype for Business client. I see the language is German at this time. I first will change that to English. You see that we can add more languages to it. So now I set it to English. What can you do? You can log into a queue, and then you are agent of a certain queue. So remember, on the left side, I am just Rob de Boer as a person, as a colleague. And here on the right side, I'm Rob de Boer, who is logged into a demo queue and to a support email queue. And if I want, I can also log into a chat queue. Okay. On my CC4Skype, I also have a dial pad. And in first reaction, you should say, hey, we already have a dial pad. But here you have a dial pad in your CC4Skype environment. And that's very important because when you use it in your contact center, then you are also able to add it to your historical reports. Because everything we do in CC4Skype will be set in a database, and from the database we can offer historical reporting about what happened. Second important thing that we can do with the dial pad is maybe you want to send out another number when you are dialing out as a contact center, and maybe you do not want to send out a number. So with this dial pad you are able to do that. People are able to add real-time reports. What you are used to see in a contact center is that there are wallboards with information. Of course, we can provide the same, but we think that today maybe agents work from other environments, maybe a branch office, or maybe even from home. And then you still need the information, what's happening now inside of your queue. And with real-time reports, we make it possible that even agents are able to show the actual situation in their queue. What we also can do in this real-time information is put alarms on it. And we can do that because we support service levels. Because in a service center, normally you also have service levels with your environment, with your organization. And this will help you to reach your service level as agreed in your organization or with your customers. Next to that, we can see these alarms. It will show when you have a group voicemail, because you know in your own Skype for Business environment, people can leave voicemail, but it's also possible in your queue to leave voicemails. And when we click on it, you can see people are joining, busy at the same time, but even voicemails when they arrive. Oh, there's no voicemail yet, but it is able to send group voicemails, and everybody in your team is able to answer these voicemails. Okay, as I already told you, we are able to change some settings. Before I will call our system, I will tell you that at this moment you cannot see where I can take the call, and that's one part of the intuitivity of our software. Is it will show buttons when they are needed. So when I get a call inside this call center, you will see here two buttons will say take the call or decline the call, and when I take the call, more buttons will appear. So let me call our call center and take a call. So I'm not available, but I still see a call coming in. I will set my status available. And what you see is that the call is coming in. What I will do, I will take the call. I will mute it because otherwise it. You can see I have some extra.
Sorry, Rob, if you can just repeat the last part. I think there was just a little bit with the voice. So if you can just take the last part just again.
Okay. Yeah, I hope you can hear me again.
Yes, I think we're there now.
Okay, okay. The problem is I took the call in my Skype for Business client, in my CC4Skype client, and what happens in Skype for Business that when you take a call, you automatically put the other on mute. So that is what happened. So I hope everybody can hear me again.
Yeah,
but what you saw is that when I took the call, that more buttons appeared. You have the possibility to record a call. You can forward a call. So all the functionalities you need as an agent. I will show you the supervisor client, and here I have the possibility as a supervisor to completely manage my team. I even can change the status of people in my team. Here I see my colleague Wim Heldenberg. He seems to be away, but what I can do, I can change his status to available. So now in his client, he is available, and he's sitting next to me, so he understands what I'm doing. And what I also can do, I can join him in the demo queue. So here I have, as a supervisor, the complete functionality to manage my team. So I will put him on busy again because he is doing a webinar together with me. I will put myself also on unavailable. And I don't do that in my statuses I have in my Skype for Business client. Why? I am doing this in my CC4Skype client because here I can add some extra possibilities. Do not disturb, and I can, for instance, say I'm on training. So also my colleagues in the company will see that, hey, Rob de Boer is not available because he's doing training. And on my CC4Skype site, this will also be recorded in the database. So when we later on make a historical report, people will see that I was not available because I was giving training. So it's very important to set the reasons why people are not available, so you can make your evaluation about the business you have done in your service center. You can make it more precise and can have a better evaluation of it. So about the live environment, I will also show you that it's able to show inside your clients every web page you want. We can also pop up CRM in your client. And the good thing about it is that you have your Skype for Business client, your CC4Skype client, and your application, and that can be any application which you can enter with a URL in one client. And you do not have to alt up to, for instance, your CRM client. So that we think is a very interesting situation. So this is about the client. Now I want to show you our backend. So what we will do, we will go to the admin of CC4Skype. It's web-based, and if let's see if I can log in. I'm not logging in at this moment. It seems that I need to have a little patience. I'm not in my office. I'm traveling, and I'm doing this demo from this webinar from a hotel together with my colleague. And you see, CC4Skype works everywhere where you have a good internet connection. So now I'm also able to go to the backend of CC4Skype, and here we have all the possibilities to change and create our CC4Skype environment. The first thing you have to do, you have to add your company to CC4Skype, and when you say okay, this group number on this zip trunk we want to follow in CC4Skype, then CC4Skype will run a script and it automatically will be configured. The way around is the same. The moment you delete it from CC4Skype, it also is changed in your Skype for Business environment. So you have the complete control of the environment from the backend of CC4Skype. Then what you're going to do, you're going to add people, and you can easily add people from your Active Directory. Now, what we did when we designed CC4Skype, we understood that system managers do not like it when you change their Active Directory. It's a sort of very high-pressured environment that system administrators never allow third parties to change it. So what we do, we only browse in the Active Directory, and you can select people which might use CC4Skype. So what happens? You do that all inside your call center. Here you're going to select the users. Well, of course, in this environment we already did. And when we have these users who might use CC4Skype, we're going to add skills to them, because we are able with CC4Skype to offer skill-based routing. In standard groups of Skype for Business, you can do round robin or let all the phones ring at the same time. But in a service center, you need more. You want that the call will go to the best skilled agent. So we have to add these skills to people. So when we have done this, we are able to build queues. And when I open, in this case, a demo queue, we have add some skills. We add the skill French, we add English, and we add the skill demo. And then we had a group of people who are in this group. So these people are the best selected people for me to add to the demo queue. So we can also say which of these people are a supervisor. And on the right side, I can add people who have supervisor abilities. And of course, this is a demo environment. So you have a lot of people who have supervisor skills, but normally one or two, depending on the size of your group. In most service centers, it will be 1 on 7 until 1 on 10 that will have supervisor skills. And next to that, we choose how much knowledge these people have. And if we give all the people in a queue the same level of knowledge, then the system will always look of the complete group who is longest idle, who is available and longest idle. But if we give some people, like here, let's say Marcel Reuvers, I give him a 10, and you can set it from 1 to 99. And I give Gerry de Graaf, I give him 10. So what will happen next is that the system first will look if Marcel Reuvers or Gerry de Graaf is available, and then it decides who is longest idle. And if they are busy or not available, then it will look at the group. And of course, it's a computer, so that will happen all in a split second. So, well, we have set skills, we have selected people, we can add wrap-up time, because in a service center, you often see that after a call, agent needs some extra time to file the call, to archive it. So you can set a certain time. You can add reasons to it. Why did people called? Because all this information, you can find it back later in your historical reports. I will not go further in detail now. We can, of course, do that later in a more bigger and detailed demo. Okay. Another important thing I would like to show you are schedules, because we can add as many schedules as you want. And in these schedules, and here I have a simple working time schedule, and it's based on Europe. So what you will see, it's open also on Friday, but we can also add times. So, okay, now it's also open on Sunday, and I can close on Friday. So you see, it's very easy to change your schedules. And next to these schedules, we are also able to add events. So like New Year's Day is a recurring day, but we can also add every day that the whole company of organization is closed. We can add them up front, and when this happens, the system can play other messages to people who are calling on that day. But we can also set up an emergency flow, like an example, like in this building, we have a fire drill, so everybody have to leave the company, but then the contact center is still active. So it must be very easy to make the emergency flow active. You can either do that via a smartphone, accessing the web page of the administrator of CC4Skype, or you can open a special phone number which you can call, and behind an IVR, the system will ask, do you want to activate the emergency flow? Press 1. So we have more possibilities to change the system, to serve it to the well of your company. In this communication flows, we are able to set up call flows. And we have a lot of possibilities with these call flows. We can, and here is an example of our demo call flow. It will appear in a second. It seems that my internet here in this hotel is not that fast. But here we are able to, when a call is coming in, check, are we open? Check, is it morning? Offer the possibilities, go to a department, even handle abandoned calls, people who hang up in the process. We can read into a database. I give you an example. Let's say you have a technical help desk and consumers are able to call. But first, you want to check if they paid for the service. So you can look into a database, and is this caller, do we recognize it, and have they called the fees. If not, we thank them and we offer them the possibility to first pay the fees to use that technical help desk. After a call, we are also able to write into a database. Let's say you want to do a quality survey. So after the call, when the agent has hung up, the caller is not hang up, and there will be offered some questions. Did you like the call? Did it help you with your questions? All these things will be put in a database, and later you can use it to make an analysis of the quality of your service center. So this is a very, very powerful part of CC4Skype. Then I have a quick view on our historical reports. We are able to make any report you want regarding all the columns in the database. And what we did not make upfront a lot of reports. No, we made predefined choices like do you need a report about call history or agent trace or voicemail history and so forth and so on. And with these parameters, you are able to create your report. So when you have created it, you can run it, and you can run it in Excel or in PDF. And when you like it, then you are able to schedule it and send it out to any group on any time, and it will run as long as you keep the schedule alive. So if I need on my service department every morning at 9 o'clock, I need the report of the last day, then I will get it in my email. So with historical reports, you are able to create any report regarding the information we stored on our database. And sometimes we see companies who have their own business intelligence systems. No problem, our database is open and you can easily make a database dump to your business intelligence system. So you can add it to your own designed reports. Last thing I want to show you on the live demo is our real-time reports. This is an overview. What we see here, the queue of support. No agents are available. You see the demo of reports, and this is number of busy agents. That's 1, and that's correct. We can see all this information, but you can also down drill. So let's say in an organization you have a lot of queues, and you see here there is an alarm. And what you can do, you can down drill in that queue. So you can exactly pinpoint where the problem is. And you can easily make this so that you can also show it on a wallboard. And you can see in all the queues what is happening. So agents are able to make a real-time report for their own queue. Supervisors and system supervisors can do that for their own queues. So a supervisor can be a member of more queues, and the system administrator is able to create real-time reports, maybe to show it in a boardroom or maybe on wallboards, wherever you want. They are able to show that. So this is our live demo part. And again, please contact our partner Cytec if you need to see more. We are always happy to do that. Go back to the presentation, and I go to my my last part. Why you should use CC4Skype? Well, let me first begin that when you have Skype for Business, instead of your traditional PBX, you will miss a lot of functionality. Like I told you about the contact center possibilities of an intelligent ACD group. You miss real-time and historical reporting. You miss the simple possibility to record an ad hoc call or maybe record in a call flow. We have a very extended call flow editor where you can really graphically see what your process is in your organization. We add more channels, so not only voice, but also email. We are able, and therefore I will make a small switch again to the client. We are able to get email coming in to a group email, and we can respond on these emails. We can do the same for chat. When we start in Q1, we will make that able for social media. So let's say that somewhere in the world, people will do hashtag SciTech and then Twitter a message. Then the marketing department of SciTech can decide, hey, we make a group for it. So our employees at marketing will get these messages into their CC4Skype client, and they can decide to respond on it or not. So again, to our last part, by lowering why you should use CC4Skype. Well, CC4Skype is highly integrated in Skype for Business. So not only the cost of buying CC4Skype, but in the end, it will lower your recurring cost. Because if you use other applications, you need to maintain the knowledge inside your company. You need other training for people, because we experienced that people who are using Skype for Business are very quickly trained to use CC4Skype. The installation period is very short. We have documents where you can prepare the installation, and when you have done this and you add the right certificates and you open the right ports, then the installation can be done very quickly. If you, with your Skype for Business environment, can place endpoints anywhere in the world in your network, CC4Skype can follow. So even when you have branch offices in other continents, no problem. If they are in your Skype for Business environment, CC4Skype can then be installed too. We already mentioned that it has a quick and easy setup. You can change it on the flow. So with our strong call flow editor, we are able to make changes. Next to that, we can give, with our real-time and historical reporting, we can give a clear management insight. So you really can evaluate what happened in your queues, and you are able to see what's happening now into your queues. And it's not only the service centers or real contact center or ACD environment, but we also support with our software the reception desk, because with our client we are able to look into the Outlook calendar. So when a call is coming in the main number, and the receptionist or operator will take the call, and the caller will ask, please can you connect me with Mr. X, Y, Z, then the receptionist is able to look into the Outlook calendar and can say, I'm sorry, Mr. XYZ is in a meeting. Do you want to leave a voicemail? Can you leave a message to me? Or do you want to call later? Because I see that in half an hour that person is free. So it gives you a lot of information. The receptionist is able to park calls. So let's say it's very busy at that main number. Then they can take the call, park it, take the call, park it, and then handle the calls one by one. Also, the receptionist is able to work in groups. So when it's very busy and your colleague receptionist is working at another branch, they are able to help, because they will see when they take the call where the call was meant to be. So you get information, so you can really work together with your colleagues at the headquarters. We can use CC4Skype for chef secretary environments, or even with groups of secretaries. So you can say the secretary must always get the preferred calls for their own manager, but also they are able to help colleagues, other secretaries. So CC4Skype is really helping you with the business. It's really helping you to get more insight in what is happening. And last but not least, when we install CC4Skype, we as a company, we believe in first-time resolution. So it's in our highest interest to make the software working very smoothly and helping you. So I think we came to the end of our presentation, of our webinar. So maybe a few last words of our host, Amara. Maybe you can join the webinar.
Yes, of course. Well, thank you very much, Rob. Thank you very much, Wim, for the presentation. We do have a couple of questions that have come in from the attendees. Maybe I'll just take or address a couple of them that are sort of common for most of the attendees. So first question is, will it be a recorded session? Yes, the session will be is recorded and will be going up on YouTube, hopefully in the not so distant future. Then we've got a couple of questions on which you've also covered in the webinar on how to get a demo, how to become a partner, and so on. So what would you suggest for those kinds of inquiries? If you want to experience the demo, if you want to become a CC4Skype partner, let's say you're a system integrator in South Africa or in Nigeria, wherever you may be based, send an email to our email address, sales@cytec.ie, and our team will help to take things forward. Now, in regards to some of the more specific questions, so we've seen that the CC4Skype has a very simple and clean layout and full native integration and so on. But we have a question that says, how does CC4Skype specifically differ from some of the other options that are available on the market?
Oh, thank you for that question. First of all, our biggest power is behind the hood of the car, we always say, because we have a lot of experience built up. Our designers of CC4Skype have all more than 20 years of experience in contact center environments. So we really understand the functionalities which will help you in a service center, which will help you at a receptionist post, which will help you with real-time and historical reporting, getting better management insights. So that is really behind the scenes. That will help the business. So we believe, of course, our competitors are important. They have nice solutions, but we strongly believe that we offer functionalities who really help you to improve your business. And on the front side, we try to keep it as simple and smooth as possible. We have an adaptable client, so you only have to install one type of client. And when you're not joining a client, then you do not have to pay for it. So in our financial model, we made our licenses working on concurrent base. So we try to not get an overload of licenses. So we are always try to make that as smart as possible. And I think next to that we have a very strong extended IVR, like the visual call flow editor. We are strong in recording. We are very strong in all kind of different architectures. What you see most is a hybrid architecture. So somewhere at the headquarters in a data center, you have Skype for Business, but then companies have branch offices. How we are going to connect them? Well, with CC4Skype, that's very easy. We always say, please make a drawing of your network architecture, and we will fit in. So we are flexible. Another advantage of CC4Skype is that when one of our customers have a brilliant idea about a new functionality, then tell it to us. What we will do, we will look, will it fit into our vision? Okay, then we come back with a functional design and we go into discussion with the end customer. Is this what you mean? When they say yes, this is what we mean, then we go back to developers and we get an answer because we work with Agile Scrum, so we work in sprints, and they will say we can create this in 1 or 2 or 3. I don't know how much time we need, number of sprints. So we can go back to the end customer and say, okay, in 2 sprints. So in 6 weeks, we have the software ready. And then we need some 1 or 2 weeks of testing. And then we come back to you and we give that new functionality to you. And what we do next is when we have a next major release, we give that functionality to everybody because we want to keep our software as standard as possible. And we do that because we always want the security that we will work together with Skype for Business. Because you know, Microsoft sometimes will come up with new patches, new releases. So we always have to secure that CC4Skype will run together with Skype for Business. Does that answer the question a little bit?
I think that was a very comprehensive answer. Thanks for that. And I think you already touched there in regards to how it works with the licenses on a concurrent basis. We'll revert to that, or we'll come back to that point in a short while, because we do have a question in regards to how to fill the BOQ and so on. But let us just take a quick question in regards to the different permissions that can be given. So basically the question is, can we give different permissions for users to the admin console? So for example, can we have a user that only has access to log in and see the reports, while at the same time also having an administrator that has, as you say, complete admin access? How does that work?
Yeah, well, the answer is yes. Of course, the administrator can see everything, and it's also possible to add more administrators in an organization. And also every action of the administrator will be recorded in the historical reporting, so you can always find back who did what. But next to that, your question was, can we also give limited functionality? Well, in our vision, we think that a supervisor should be able to make their own reports, historical reports. So yes, we give on different levels, we give different authorization. And in our backend, we can even say, okay, these group of agents must be automatically joined to the queue when they log in, or these agents are able to do recordings, and maybe this group of agents are also able to make a real-time reporting. So in our backend, we can give access on different levels to people.
Excellent, very good. Then I think we'll go back to the original question. Basically, so we've seen that the CC4Skype interface is very, very simple, easy to use, intuitive. When it comes to, let's say, we're a system integrator based somewhere here in the wider Middle East or Middle East and Africa, and they want to build a BOQ for a client, or if you are a client that have deployed CC4Skype or Skype for Business, let's say there is a small requirement for, let's say, 10 agents and 1 supervisor. How would a BOQ look? How, if you can explain a little bit on that, and of course you already touched on the concurrent license teams, but if you can just expand a bit on that, how that works with the agent licenses and so on.
Well, that is of course something on the side of our partner about pricing, but how you can do that, what we need on the CC4Skype side is the CC4Skype core program license, and in that core program license you have all the functionalities, and it will give you the reporting, it will give you the possibility to build queues, the IVR, all these functionalities. And next to that you have the clients, you have the agents, the supervisor, the operator, or the chef secretary clients. they are built on concurrent use. So next to that, you have somewhere your virtual server. We have prerequisites for that one. Our partner have Cytec have documents for that. So yeah, on that way we can build that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so just to underline it again, so as you mentioned, you have the server license itself, so the server software, and then depending on what the requirement is, let's say 10 center agents, that will be 10 agent licenses, and then let's say one supervisor license. So the simplicity also extends to the building of the BOQ. Then there is another question in regards to software assurance. If I'm an end customer and I have deployed the CC4Skype and I want to ensure that it's always up to date, how does that work?
Yeah, we only sell the software together with a maintenance plan, and in that maintenance plan you will get, of course, all the support you need to get it running. But also software renewal is that, and that's 20% of the list pricing.
Okay, very good.
Per year.
Per year, excellent, yeah. Very good. Then I think we have covered most of the points. I think I should just repeat again that if any of the attendees, if any of you have any questions, things that you think of later on that you don't think of right now, if you want to become a partner, you want to provide CC4Skype to your end users across the region, or if indeed you are an end customer that's been listening into this webinar, or if you want a demo, then I'll just repeat the email again just to be sure that everyone has it. Just send an email to our team to sales@cytec.ae. So that's sugar alpha lima echo sugar, and then the @ and then cytec.ae. That is the. Oh, I think we just got another question coming in here. You can provide PSTN calling even in KSA, as they have some restriction on PSTN and VoIP call ability. So I think we have a question here in regards to whether there is PSTN calling capabilities in Saudi Arabia. And I think for this one here, maybe that's more related to, let's say, how the Skype for Business setup is. So let's say somebody has deployed Skype for Business. They have a Skype for Business certified gateway connected, let's say, to whatever the backhaul is, analog lines or PRI lines. So in that case there, you would fit in very, very easily, and CC4Skype would sit next to it, and you would have the capability to receive PSTN calls via on the CC4Skype setup. So I think just to address that question there.
Yeah, on the Skype for Business environment, you need the enterprise voice license.
You need the enterprise, of course. Yes, of course. Okay. And what else there? Yeah, and of course we will send also. I've got another question regarding some pricing. That's fine. That's okay. That's good. Then I think actually, gentlemen, that we've covered most of the questions that are that have been posed. So I think Rob and Wim, I'm going to say thank you very much. Unless there's any other points that we should cover, I think that was very comprehensive. Thank you very much for the overview and for the introduction.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Amara.